Hey guys, welcome again to another Kind of Adulting Spotlight. I'm here with my friend Joielle Lee, and we're going to be talking her life. We're going to be getting to know her and her journey to being an adult. So, just a reminder Kind of Adulting Spotlight is a feature that we do on YouTube that highlights different timelines and different versions of success from kind of adults, just like you. So stay tuned. Every month we have this feature, and you might just see a familiar face. So to start it off, Joy, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Joy. My full name is actually Joyelle. Um, and but I go by Joy, so most people know me by Joy. I just recently graduated from Howard University in the springtime of 2020. And yeah, since then it's kind of just been a slow and steady race to the finish line. I feel like COVID definitely it was a hard hitter for the class of 2020, as everybody knows. So like since then, I've kind of just been chilling, trying to figure out like what my purpose is, what exactly like I expect from like full-time job life, and trying to figure out how to live as an adult
How long?
post grad.
How long do you consider yourself as being like an adult? Like, do you think you're just starting out now, or?
No, I feel like I've been an adult probably since I was like 16. I don't know. I was definitely the person who had to take care of myself for a long time.
Mhm.
Just because my parent didn't have the capacity to. So like I've been working for a really, really long time. And I think that kind of ages you. It also teaches you like a sense of responsibility, because you take care of your own bills, you pay for your own stuff. So yeah, it just feels like I've been adulting for a really long time, but adulting is different after like you graduate from college. Like there's different phases of adulting. So I feel like there's like a pre-adult, like I was going through my pre-adult phase, but like I feel like, I was kind of stepping into adulthood, and
Mhm.
now I'm kind of just like sitting in the adulthood.
Yeah, I'm on the kind of adulting stage. Like, I'm not a full adult to any capacity. Like, I still call my mother, like,
Yeah.
bro, can you help me with this? Like, what is this
Yeah.
weed people talking about? Kind of touched on it before, but like, how is life like graduating during the pandemic? Do you feel like it kind of like eclipsed your experience, or do you feel like you kind of took it and did what it did with the with the times, like kind of
Um,
your own thing?
it was really hard. Like I said before, like it was definitely a different experience. One, the job market was frozen. So, like we all are like equipping ourselves to like get full-time roles and get full-time offers. And not only for me, but for a lot of my friends too. Like I saw them get full-time offers and they got snatched,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all in the same breath.
yeah.
So we were all kind of just out here, kind of just like floating around. It definitely encourages like entrepreneurship and like hustling and trying to figure out, okay, like how can I hustle? How can I get to the bag? And I feel like I've seen a lot of people like develop their own businesses during this time and kind of just like flourish in that way. I was working in college, so like I had a job that kind of just like carried me throughout because I was already working at T-Mobile, and I just kept working at T-Mobile. I just moved states. And yeah, I was hustling on the side, like doing locks. Like that's always been my hustle. That was my hustle in college. So when I came back home, I was doing locks still, and then I was like going to work. But other than that, man, it was a hard hitter. I feel like harder having an experience and feeling like you're about to get an experience and then having that wiped out or taken away from you because
Mhm.
of originally I was supposed to be going like moving to New York to work as a creative director for like this big company, same company I work for now, but just in a different role.
Mhm.
And I was like so excited about it. And then having that taken away from me, I was like, dang, I'm not going to get that experience back. Like, and so kind of trying to deal with like grief. I feel like there was
Yeah.
like parts of grief that you had to experience like throughout this time. So definitely like taking the steps to like walk through grief has been an experience, but I'm feeling better now, like later on in the pandemic,
Yeah.
of course, because like things are starting to open back up again and like people are starting to move. But for a while, it did have me like feeling kind of trapped. trapped in my space, trapped in the same job, trapped in like my thoughts of what this was gonna look like for me and what it actually was. But yeah, I feel like definitely now it's a little better.
Yeah, things are looking up. So tell us about your new job that you accepted.
Yeah, so currently I work for Publicis Media, but I work for Hulu and Disney as a media planner. I work as a media planner and I'm working on the brand side of things. So I'm doing digital brand strategy for Hulu right now. And so that's been like an interesting experience. Definitely not what I thought it was going to be moving into the corporate world. Like I kind of shaped this idea of what it was going to look like for me, but it's been a completely different experience. And I'm like in a training program too. So they're teaching me about all these different positions that I could possibly have within the company. So that's definitely opened my eyes to like what exactly I want to do and what I'm really passionate about. So I
Hmm.
think like getting the experience to be able to kind of touch on a lot of different things is really important, like when moving into a career. So like
Yeah.
my my advice is always like if there's a rotational program or something like that that you can get into, like get into the rotational program, get into a program where you can learn and like they'll teach you the ropes, because I promise jumping into corporate is a struggle. Like it is. It's a struggle.
I'm glad you're out here giving gems before I even ask for them because people always want to know, like, how did you get here? Like, what did you do? Da, 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 da. Like, what are the.
Yeah. Getting this job, honestly, I was just applying to stuff. I had forgotten I even applied to the position, to be honest. And like months later, they contacted me for an interview. And it was actually right after I had an interview with the same company, but just in a different capacity. And
Mhm.
I realized that that role wasn't for me. And so I was like, dang, that's crazy. But the same day, like literally the same day, I had gotten my rejection letter from that job because I already knew it just wasn't for me. I had also had an interview for this job. And the way that it works is you can't interview for two companies within the same company at the same time, because this is a media agency. It's a holding company. So it holds all these different agencies that you could possibly work for.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, the agency that I ended up working for, I got the job. It was really fast. It was a really fast moving process. But yeah, Hulu has their own, so they have a few things like internally that you can do. I work on the Imaginations team, which also encompasses Disney and ESPN, but I'm working on the Hulu account right now, and working on their campaign projects. So yeah, if you're trying to be a creative, Hulu's creative team is internal. So you can't like they're pulling on their creative from actually people that work at Hulu, but the
Mhm.
rest of the stuff, like as far as like their advertising and like media buying and like different things like that, they're doing externally. So that's where my company would come in and basically do all the work. So yeah.
Nice to know. And I just another thing for the kind of adults out there, like a interview process is a two-way street. Like you're really trying to understand if you fit in this role also, because just taking anything is not it. Like you'll get stuck in that job and then
Yes.
you'll hate it and you just be like, well, this is like my dream company, but that doesn't mean that this position is necessarily fit for you. Um,
Yes.
but going back to your like what you do, like how do you think this job fits into your like overall goals in your life? Like, do you feel like this company complements like your love for fashion, which we didn't really talk about before, but
Right.
you doing like fashion and designing?
Yeah, so actually I feel like it doesn't. And that's something that I had to like, take in as I like got into the role. And now I've kind of just been in the search for like, okay, so what exactly will complement my passions in life, because I realize how important that is to me. And different other things that are like really important when finding a corporate job. I had a lot of outside encouragement because it's such a big company and such a big opportunity. Like everybody was like, go for it, do it, da da da. But the only issue is like when that is not for you, it's just not for you. So
Mhm.
like everybody else telling me, okay, yeah, you should take this because it's such a big opportunity. And then me not like really having the peace that I needed, but I still took it because I wanted to be able to start my career. I wanted to be able to like move up and I could see myself in a different light or capacity within the same company. So like my goals within the company, if I do stay, would be to move into a creative role, like more of a creative role, because right now I'm doing strategy, and strategy is a great role to start in. It kind of has a little bit of creative in it,
Yeah.
but it's not exactly what I want to do. I feel like more so creating digital advertisement. Now the good thing about the company that I work for is like they have all of these brands under their umbrella. So I get a lot of exposure to a lot of different brands. Like right now I'm working on a project for Ralph Lauren, you know. So like having the ability to have exposure to a lot of the different brands I want to have exposure to, a lot of the different companies and executives in the company that I want to have exposure to, and being able to pitch my ideas to these companies. That's why I chose the position that I'm in. However, there is like a process into getting into all of those things. So like it's really just like a waiting game. And coming in and trying to just like learn, you know, I'm trying to be open to learning, you know, while I'm still in this experience, taking everything that I can in. But I don't feel like it complements my goals as far as like my fashion goals and things like that. So I have to remind myself to work outside of my job and
Mhm.
like still create, still make time to like, you know, make a jacket, like go thrifting, like do things that I'm really passionate about so that I'm not feeling empty. Because I think like corporate America can leave you feeling empty a lot. So like just making sure like taking time to even just like sit down with you today. Like
Mhm.
this is just another way that I have like an opportunity to like be creative and just speak my mind. And those things are like really important to me as a creative. So yeah.
And tell us about this thrift con that we missed the first interview for. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. Okay, no, stop. Cut it out. But no, ThriftCon was like, it was really amazing. You know, it was overwhelming. I was not expecting to be that overwhelmed. Like, I was definitely expecting to go in there and drop some bank, but I didn't.
Okay.
And I was like thoroughly surprised. I bought a few items, but like I didn't buy a lot of different things, only because people were going in there and reselling t-shirts that they paid $8.99 for $700. I just can't wrap my head around paying $700 for a t-shirt.
I'm sorry, but
Like, so I was more so shopping with my eyes and with my heart, you know?
yeah.
But I did find a few cute things that I was like, okay, this is reasonable, so I'll pay for it. More so trying to build my summer wardrobe because that's where I'm at right now.
Cause we
I'm trying to
outside.
be a hot girl this summer, you know.
I
I'm
got
trying to
half
be
my vaccine,
outside.
like